First, I will inform you of the four critical types of inflation. Second, the impact it has on our lives. And lastly, what we can do to prevent it from affecting us in a huge way. What are the four types? First, I will tell you the four types of inflation. What are the four most critical types of inflation? The following four critical types of inflation were taken from a website called Types of Inflation, 4 Most Critical plus 9 More, written by Kim Amadeo, 2017. First, creeping inflation. This is when when the inflation rate rises 3% a year or less. The Federal Reserve is in charge of this inflation rate. When prices increase 2% or less, it benefits economic growth and drives expansion. 2% is the target the Federal Reserve aims for the inflation rate. Second, wonky inflation. This is a strong inflation and is between 3 to 10% a year. This is harmful to the economy because it heats up growth very fast. People buy more today to save for higher prices, to avoid higher prices tomorrow. Third, galloping inflation. This is when inflation rises 10% or more. This wreaks absolute havoc on the economy. Money loses value so fast that businesses can't keep up, and foreign countries avoid us, depriving us from much needed capital. This should be prevented at all costs. Lastly, hyperinflation. This is when prices skyrocket, more than 50% a month. This is very rare, and many hyperinflations have only occurred when the government prints money to pay for wars. For example, Germany in the 1920s, Zimbabwe in the 2000s, and the American Civil War. Now that I've told you about the four critical types of inflation, I will tell you how to prevent it from affecting you in a huge way. So how do we prevent it from affecting us in a huge way? Michelle Ullman article names 6 ways to protect yourself from effects of inflation and deflation and loss of purchasing power. The average consumer purchasing groceries spends less than the person who would go out to eat. According to the Foundation of Economic Education, when prices deflate faster than wages, it can cause a surge in unemployment. When interests are attractive, you can beat inflation by stacking money in a savings account or money marketing account or depositing money in CDs. If you do not have money to invest at this time, there are various investments and different accounts or things you can do that will tailor to your needs. Clear examples of inflation is the U.S. in the 1970s. By 1974, the inflation rate raised to 12% and peaked 13% by 1979. Making money then was tough. Lisa Smith, Protect Your Portfolio Against Inflation and Deflation, 2010. The wage mandate will make it difficult for Californians to find work. They will cut jobs, raise prices, invest more money heavily in tech, or leave the state altogether. This will reduce employment by a fifth and eliminate approximately 900,000 full-time jobs by the year 2023. We can reduce spending and create realistic budgets, leveraging investment to take advantage of increased prices. This will help soften the blow of inflation. This will also help you to deal with your long-time savings. Rebecca Lake, How Inflation Eats Away at Your Retirement, 2016. First, I told you about the 4 critical types of inflation. Second, some examples of how inflation has affected us and history. And lastly, what we can do to prevent it from affecting us in a huge way. To conclude, we know the 4 types of critical inflation, which are walking, creeping, galloping, and hyperinflation. We know different ways to prevent inflation from affecting us in a huge way, such as saving accounts and different situations that are tailored to us. So, as we walk out of class today, let me ask you this. Would you be ready for retirement today the way you want to live it?